Hey guys, Artis Eisen here to announce the winner of the Final Fantasy X Solo Challenge poll. As you can see, Kimahri won by a single vote. Lulu is only a vote behind, so don't worry Lulu fans, there will be a couple videos showcasing her as well. Not a full run like Kimahri, but I'm going to try and get some stuff in there because I guess, you know, well, I already have a couple anyway because I was working on something like that just offhand. Anyway, this video is gonna include the first fight where you really have like a good amount of the party available. It's not Kimahri Solo, even though the run is Kimahri Solo, because Kimahri can't actually damage this boss. It's too far away, and the boss that immediately follows it, he's not even in combat for. Like, it's just Tidus and Wakka. So, what's usually done for challenge runs like this, where you can't use the character that you're doing the solo run of, is you just play it as a no sphere grid run, which is good because I haven't used the sphere grid yet. I didn't like grind or anything before I left the said Isle or whatever that place is called. I can't remember the names of places in this game. So yeah, I still have like the base everything. I think I have a fancy sword on Tidus that has like dark touch or whatever, which is good for the Sinspawn Echuilles fight. Is it Echuilles? Echuilles? I don't know. Whatever. I didn't see it written out, so I don't know how to pronounce it. Yeah. Anyway, this fight's like super simplistic. You just, you know, can kill the Sin Scales if you want. You probably want to kill the ones with flickering wings because they can do like 250 damage or something. 240, 250. It's a little scary. Overall, there's not a whole lot to say about this fight, other than the fact that only Wakka and Lulu can damage the boss. So, in the meantime, I kind of want to talk about like my opinions on this game in general. Or I would actually hesitate to call them opinions so much as the only logical conclusions I can reasonably come to. Basically, I think it's the second best Final Fantasy, best being 13, by virtue of the fact that they have the highest skill ceiling, and if mastery isn't the point of games, then I'm not sure what is. That's the short version. My actual stance is kind of more complex, but I don't really have... Oh yeah, I have almost enough time. I could probably do it. I could probably explain my whole stance in about 20 minutes. Anyway, I really wish this game had cutscene skip. That would be amazing. I feel like that should have been in every game ever made. I don't know why anyone would think that I want to watch their cutscenes every time I play the game. That just strikes me as pretentious. It's either pretentious or ignorant. I mean, there's not really a way around that. Even, like, there are some games made today that do not have cutscene skip, like Monster Hunter World, which is otherwise fantastic. All of a sudden decided, oh, well, I guess we're not going to let the player skip any cutscenes, because screw them, I don't know, like, I can't think of a good reason. For the monster introduction cutscenes, it makes sense to an extent, because that's like a game engine thing. Basically, that's the way they're putting everything in position, like the monster into its starting position and stuff. But for other cutscenes where that isn't a relevant concern, I don't know why they're not skippable. It just strikes me as bad design. You know, interactivity is kind of the point of games. If you're not interacting with the game, you're wasting your time. Anyway, this game's a lot of fun. I don't know nearly as much about it as I do about KH2, so we'll see how that goes. One other thing about the run that I think is significant is that I'm going to be attempting minimum development sphere grid for Kimahri. The idea is that I find out the minimum possible sphere level for every boss. Well, that was the plan, if it wasn't Kimahri that won. The thing about Kimahri is that he can do, like, almost anything. He can specialize in almost any area, and I kind of have to pick what I want to specialize in at the beginning of the game, because if I need stuff from more than one path to do well, I am racking up a whole lot of sphere levels real fast, and that's a lot of grinding, and I don't have the insane amount of time that would require right now. because school starts for me on Monday. And on top of that, one of the things I'm doing for school is going to be like super time intensive. I'm actually developing a game, so I'll have some stuff about that on my channel when that gets a little further along. It's going to be a couple of months though, but you know, it kind of has to get done for school, so I wouldn't worry about that getting done on time. Let's see what else. Really, really Fatal Bullet starts on Wednesday. The first proper boss fight of this will come out on Saturday. That'll be Sinspawn Genox. I don't, again, know how to pronounce it. They never say these names in game. Like, how are we supposed to know how to ever say them? I wonder what they are in Japanese, actually. Speaking of which, it also irritates me that the protagonist of this game is named Tidus, not Tidus, because, you know, like tides. But the Japanese name is Tidus, so I can't really... There's not, like, an extra hiragana in there for the ah sound that you need for ai, like TIE-dus, but... so I'm gonna... And actually, they say it Tidus in Dissidia, so it's not really up for debate, is it? Yeah, it's Tidus, and I don't like how that sounds. It just sounds really lame. So that's the end of the first of 2 boss fights in sequence. The second one is after this brief cutscene where Tidus and Wakka, or Tidus got thrown overboard off screen, I guess. I don't remember seeing him get thrown overboard. And then Wakka's like, oh man, better save him, and he jumps in, which, you know, Wakka's not really the kind of person to think about his decisions, the impression I get. So he does that. Yep. And after the fight, Tidus has, like, this monologue about assuming he would maybe be able to go back to Zanarkand when Sin attacked again, because he went to, he ended up in Spira because of Sin attacking. But I cut that part out because there's a really long cutscene after that fight, and I was like, this video is going to be real long. Like, I don't even have that much to talk about. Which is why I'm kind of rambling about nonsense right now. It's also... What? Wow, it's 6 in the morning. Okay, yeah. Maybe not the best time to be doing this, but... I think I'm coherent. I'm pretty sure I'm coherent. Anyway, the gimmick of this fight, if you can call it that, is that you're basically supposed to inflict dark on the boss so that he can't hit you, or blindness. I don't know if they call it dark or blindness, but the attack is dark attack, and the ability on Tidus' weapon is dark touch. So I'm going to say it's inflicting darkness. But he has an attack that'll hit you anyway, because it ignores accuracy checks and hits both party members, and it also removes darkness from him, so... And you only get 2 dark attacks unless you have ethers. I don't know if you can have ethers by this point. I don't have ethers. I had to use a few more potions than I'd like. I have 20 because there's like a suitcase in the bottom of the ship in one of the cabins that you can just kick to get a ton of potions, which I didn't know about before, and that would have been really helpful. And that's one thing I don't particularly like about older RPGs. Like, they reward you way too much for stupid, pointless things that have nothing to do with the rest of the game. And they don't... Well, I mean, it's not like they don't reward you for combat, but I don't want to be screwed out of an advantage because I want to go through the game relatively quickly. I mean, you would think, like, being good at the game would allow that. Or facilitate that would be a better way to say it. I don't know, it just strikes me as silly. Like, Tales of Vesperia, for example. Some of those, what are they called, sub-events in that? I don't remember what the game calls them. But some of them are missable as, or, like, there's the ultimate weapon for the last character you get becomes impossible to obtain after, like, the first 8% of the game or so if you didn't know about it beforehand, and you don't even know this character exists at that point. So why would you know about this ultimate weapon thing? Why would you have ever thought about that? it just kind of feels crappy, especially because that's a long freaking game. Like, Tales of Vesperia is like a 40 to 60 hour game. I mean, the speedrun's probably not very long, but it's enough time that it's a serious inconvenience. Like, you might as well just start over. I've had to do that, actually. And it's the worst, because, like, again, why would I have thought of that? What was this game? Okay, so there's a game called Dreamscape Chronicles. It is questionable at best. So there is a sequence in the first chapter, I think it's the first chapter of the game, where you're in a prison and you need to pick a lock to get out. And you have access to a pillow and a broom. So what you were supposed to do, evidently, is to affix the pillow to the broom with rope you don't have. It just appears. The only reason anyone would ever think to do that is because it's the only two items they have, so I guess of course they're going to combine them. You stick this pillow on broom, which is the actual name of the item, out the window, and apparently you catch an arrow in it or something, and you break the arrowhead off the arrow and you use that to pick the lock. Like, what the frick is that, man? That's not a logic puzzle. Because there's no logic in it. Like, why would you ever think any of those things would work? Why would you ever come to any of those conclusions? The game does not give you subtle hints. It's like, it works this way because it's a point-and-click adventure in this part, and that's it. That's the only reason for those design decisions, and it's just sad. That's probably enough rambling about other games now. But anyways, yeah. Keeping darkness on this boss is, like, the most important thing. Because Drain Touch won't hit you, and Drain Touch gives him back health, which you obviously don't want, because you win when the boss dies. I don't believe there's actually a place to buy potions in the first area, until you've beaten the Sinspawn boss. Which was something that caused me a bit of trouble when I was first trying to figure out the Oku solo with Lulu. But it ended up not mattering because you can't actually do that without Fyra. It's not gonna happen ever for any reason, because you can't outdamage his healing when he's asleep if you don't have Fyra, and it needs to be through Fury, because otherwise you'll only do like 1100 damage. He heals well over that, I think. Or he heals a lot. I don't know how much. It's random, I think, to an extent. Anyway, that's Sinspawn, whatever his name is, because I can't pronounce any of them, because no pronunciation guide is offered. And Kimahri still hasn't gained a sphere level, because I'm pretty sure that was the first fight he's been in. Good times. Although we do get Seed Cannon in the next area. In the jungle on the way to the Kilika Temple. I went back to Tidus' sphere grid here because I didn't realize that he doesn't start with anything unlocked. At all. I was kind of under the impression that he would have had something lit up like the other characters. He doesn't. I was looking around for it. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. More will be coming next Saturday. Nobody die. I'm RT Sizen, signing off.